Good morning. Happy Wednesday. I just checked the settings in Earl's case and nothing has been posted. So I don't know. It's should be about 9:45 Texas time right now. So maybe they just haven't gotten to him yet. Maybe they haven't updated it. Who knows? I don't. Anyway, his last pretrial conference is today. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Good luck to you, Earl. There were a lot of people who mentioned that I had stopped watching. I guess technically it's not Earl's latest video, but the one that I watched about 10 minutes of, where he accused his daughter of doing drugs. Turns out those drugs were Zoloft. Zoloft is used for a wide variety of things. It does not cause memory loss. It does not cause people to hallucinate. And I wouldn't really call it doing drugs. It's an antidepressant. Can also help you sleep. It helps with premenstrual syndromes, things like that. PMS is premenstrual syndrome, something like that. So anyway, the long and the short of it is that it's not really exculpatory that his daughter was taking Zoloft. And obviously, I mean, there are probably reasons why his daughter was taking Zoloft. Assuming, again, arguendo, that Earl isn't just straight lying to our faces about his daughter taking the drugs for 6 months to help her sleep. So there you go, puppy. Anyway, so everybody said that I should continue watching that video because around the 47-minute mark, Earl starts talking about a lawyer from Northern California who allegedly, according to this lawyer's cousin, raped his cousin when she was 14 years old, and now she does drug use. And obviously the attorney is going to say that she's doing drug use, or she turned to using drugs because of the rape or something along those lines. I don't remember exactly what he said. Or no, he said obviously she went to use drugs because of the rape. That's what he said. That's right. Anyway, it's not worth me trying to defend myself on that. I think everybody can see that pretty clearly. If anybody ever was raped by an attorney, they should definitely report it to the police. And an attorney would be a good person to sue for damages because, unlike people living in travel trailers, attorneys probably have assets and monies that you can get to. So I would recommend, if anybody was raped by an attorney, to report that attorney to the police and sue that attorney. If an attorney does commit a crime like that, there's a very high likelihood that the attorney would get disbarred, because you could get reprimanded for things like a simple DUI. If you get DUI as an attorney, that goes on that appears on your license. You get fined by the state bar. I mean, it's crazy how much influence they have in the lives of attorneys. If you think the police are bad, the state bar's worse. Anyway, but I don't need to defend myself on that. But I want to just everybody think about this for a minute. Earl accepts unquestioningly. I mean, again, we'll just assume arguendo that everything that Earl says is true. Let's just assume, for the sake of argument, that everything Earl says is true. Earl takes for granted the story of someone that he believes is this Northern California attorney's cousin. How does he know it's his cousin? We don't know. But allegedly, this gal has made statements that Earl has, and Earl believes it. Now, that's a pretty weak chain of evidence. If you were if you were trying to introduce something like that into court, somebody I met on the internet or whatever told me that this person had raped her when she was 14, and then what? Is there any corroborating evidence? Is there anything to go by? Why did you wait until now to report it? I mean, assuming this person is no longer 14, I don't know. Now, if we're supposed to believe that, if Earl is just fine believing that, then conceivably Earl should be fine with people believing things like an allegation of sexual assault when there are by a daughter when there are two other daughters who report the same things. The 3-year-old apparently made a statement. Now, that's one thing that Earl's story about the Northern California attorney doesn't have, is corroborating evidence from the time when these ladies were actually young ladies and children. There's also the other statements that the police have from other people to corroborate it. There's CPS reports that corroborate it, I assume, because CPS was involved at the time and they moved the daughter out. So, and the police have done an investigation on Earl's case. I mean, so you would think it would be much more likely that Earl should be much more likely to believe the allegations being made by his daughters, plural, if he's willing to believe some random person who he can't verify any of the details about, right? But of course he doesn't. Of course he doesn't, because it's all just a giant conspiracy to get Earl. There's no merit to anything that anybody else says about Earl, but everything that anybody says about random Northern California attorneys, I mean, you just need to accept it as the God's honest truth because it fits Earl's narrative. So, everything grain of salt. Good luck to Earl today, despite you being a douchebag. I think it would be best for everybody involved if Earl was actually innocent. It would be best, because that means that the sexual assaults probably didn't take place if Earl's found guilty. So I'm hoping that Earl's not found guilty. I'm hoping he's not found guilty. Because I would sleep better at night thinking that he hadn't raped his daughters. Because I don't like it when young ladies get raped. So, especially not 3-year-olds. Bro, I just want everybody to just sit down, no matter what side of the fence you're on, just sit down and think about this. If you're a parent, how many times have you, or your husband, or baby daddy, whatever, how many times has your child accused you or the father of the child of rape, of touching that child inappropriately? I'm assuming that most of you are going to say never. I'm assuming that. I hope that's the case. But now imagine 3 of your daughters said that. How often do you think that happens? Just out of the blue for no reason whatsoever? Because Earl was a nobody. I mean, I guess technically he still is a nobody. I mean, we're all nobodies, right? But he was a nobody back in the 90s. I mean, no one had some master conspiracy theory. 3. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great day.